And just like that, we're back. MTTE, More to the Ends podcast with myself, Big Cam. But I'm not in the building by myself. I'm with my brother. I'll let you introduce yourself.
My name is... What should I call myself?
That's what I said. I let you introduce yourself. You do what you want to do, bro. It's your...
Yeah, I'm Jazzie.
All right, then.
You get me?
But...
Yes.
Can I say what I know you as? Cause
yeah, for sure.
You know what I mean?
Joshua Duce, straight from Brixton, South London.
Say that again.
Straight from Brixton, South London.
All right, cool. So, it's a South London thing, as it usually is, but today specifically, Southwest London things, you get me? But yeah, man, this pod has been a long time in the making. A lot of things that have led us to today, you get me? It could have been before, it could have been after, but fortunately, we're both blessed to be here. Every time I'm in the studio with a guest or the man them or just by myself, I always feel blessed, you get me?
Definitely.
And yeah, today, I just wanted to have a conversation with someone who easily could have ended up continuing the cycle of negative street shit, but he fortunately managed to navigate that and, in my opinion, is inspiring and being supportive of the next generation. But as the conversation flows on, we'll get into that. If we're running short of time and that, I'll let you know, bro. So don't even worry about that. Just be free and speak your mind, speak your truth.
Careful.
But yeah, man, personally, obviously, I met Josh or Jazzie in school, year 7 things. Truth be told, I didn't really... He didn't flag up on my radar and that until, like, I would say, like, middle of year 7 when you start to find out who certain characters are, certain shit from outside the school might start popping up on your radar and that. But my initial thoughts is he kicks ball, he's good at kicking ball, he's got older brothers, there's someone. That was it, innit? That was my thought process, innit? I don't know. Do you want to... You might as well take it back to... like, before we even got to school, like your family dynamic in that.
If I was to go back before school, what can I remember? Primary school, I think I just grew up literally just playing football. But you know, like obviously if we talk about going back, we talk about like growing up in Myatt. Before going into secondary school, I think I was more like I was in my shell a lot. You know, I feel like being young and exposed to certain things from a young age, seeing certain things, naturally probably how I was, my nature, it made me go in my shell a bit, and I just done what I just needed to do. All I thought was to play football and just continue just doing this thing here.
Would you agree that for probably, I'm not going to say all of the man them, but I'll say 90% of youths, black or white or whatever race, football was like the maddest release. It's like just like the place, even if you went to different ends or whatever, that's this place where you express yourself. Yeah, no, football's a worldwide language. You just be free. Yeah, it's not even only that. As soon as you can play football, you're respected. You know, so that's very true. Yeah, as soon as you go to North London, West London, South London, wherever you go and you can play, they respect you. So, once you get the tagline of, "I see that you there, he's a baller still," it's done. 100. It's done still.
100. Definitely a release. I'll say though, 100%. Definitely a release.
All right, cool. Let's take it back then, innit? Let's go with your family dynamic before we even get to secondary school and that. Let's go with your family dynamic. What have you got? Any brothers? Any sisters? Younger? Older?
Yeah, so I've got 3 younger siblings. I've got my baby brother at the moment. I've got my sister, and I have the youngest from after me. And I would say that because obviously my mum directly, she had 3 boys, which was me, my 2 older brothers. But my dad had an extra 3 as well. You know, going off and being the man that he is, a very good man. I think just him and my mum's dynamic just didn't work back in the day, you know.
Life happens,
exactly. Ended up finding somebody else, and he was able to create a family to this day. So that made me realize that my dad actually is a very good man still. He held it down for one family, and he's still holding it down, trying to do his thing.
Bro,
moved on and now he's still doing his thing.
For perspective, there's families where man are growing up, they don't even know their dad.
No,
there's families where they think someone else is their dad. They don't. That's not their dad. Do you get me? These things happen. But like you said, I can relate. My dad had a son before me and my brothers, and my mum had a son before me and my brothers. But then my dad and my mum came together and made me and my little brothers. Yeah. So I can relate. Black families, you know how it goes.
And like I feel like my dad is living a good life because to be able to have two different dynamics and they're both healthy as well, I feel like it's very important. You know, we can say like black family, broken families or this and that, but it's just how you see things, innit? And literally, if you see the glass half full, half empty.
Boy.
For me, obviously, I see it.
I said previously on this pod, yeah, I don't have an issue with that dynamic as long as you just said, your father figure or father has the resources to take care of these kids. And obviously, hopefully, the mother of these kids as well. I don't see the issue with it personally, as long as everyone eventually knows, innit? Because we just know, innit, how life works, innit? But yeah, I don't think that's nothing to be ashamed of personally.
Not at all. Not at all. 100%.
But yeah, all right. With that being said, then what you said you went into your shell, but football was definitely a release for you in primary school.
Yeah.
So what was life like? Say year 6 to year 7 once you got to Stockwell Park, and even before you get to Stockwell Park, what primary school did you go to?
I went to Durand Primary School.
Cool.
Yeah, it's quite popular in like North Brixton, Myatt, you get me, the community. But yeah, so I went there and then I went Stockwell Park. Going into Stockwell Park, I feel
because I have to ask this,
for it.
What did you either know of Stockwell Park or what did you hear about Stockwell Park, which is now Platinum College? What did you hear about that before you even got there and that?
Do you know what? I didn't hear much because my brothers, they went Kingsdale before they went Stockwell. So they went Kingsdale knowing that Kingsdale was mad. But I heard Stockwell was mad. But I heard right now Kingsdale was madder than Stockwell at that time. Before Stockwell used to be madder than Kingsdale.
You thought you was kind of...
I was alright. Like I was thinking, obviously my brothers went Kingsdale. They already saw the dunya. Like they saw madness. And then you get me. So they're coming down here to Stockwell Park and they've already kind of built their name for themselves when they got there. So as soon as I got there, I'm in year 7. My oldest brother's in year 11. And then my other brother's in year 10. So I'm already kind of going there with, I'm good.
Yeah, good. See, and that's the air that I got. That's the truth, innit? I'm being honest of remembering back then times because similar but not the same. My brother had already went Stockwell Park. I'd heard whispers from the ends anyway, Wandsworth Road and that Stockwell Park was mad. But then my brother was kind of like, because he was a baller, he was kind of like a celebrity and all the rest of the stuff. So, but
what happened to you then? Why didn't you play ball?
Look.
You didn't get inspired?
Mum, why did you do this to me, blood? Mum didn't really... The truth is, and I always say this, I don't think I was shit. Yeah. Till this day, I don't think I was shit. You can tell your own opinion of whether you think I was dead or not, or whatever. But I never really was gifted the opportunity to really pursue it and really think of it as a true passion. And obviously, as you get older, you realise why that may have been the case with certain family dynamics and whatnot, and becoming kind of like the father figure role and kind of assuming responsibilities and all the rest of it. But I think that's why, truthfully, I wasn't really focused on like, I can actually be a baller like my bro. Like, I was just like, that's what he done. I've got a different path. I feel
like you naturally fall into football. If you love it, you love it.
Yeah.
You'll have a ball with you every time you go to the corner shop. I remember going corner shop all the time with ball, going everywhere with football all the time. Do you get me? So
you talk about the passion. It's funny because my brother's actually going to come on eventually as well. His evidence of passion was, and it's my opinion as evidence of passion, he thieved money from my mum to buy boots to go to trials. Yeah. He knew he was going to get beats, he knew he was going to get grounding, but he didn't care. He said, I need to go to these trials and I need new boots. Yeah, so I'm going to do it. Unfortunately, he made professionally as well. But that's how dedicated he was to it. I was not on that.
100.
If you get what I'm saying, like, so you're right. Still, it's how passionate you are.
Definitely.
The limits that you're willing to go day to day in that.
No, definitely.
But all right, cool. So when did you notice, if you even did notice, that your ends, Mansfield and that, was not a normal, like, happy-go-lucky, like, ends. Like, there was stuff going on and you needed to be aware of this stuff. When did you even clock that? If you can pinpoint
I would say when I was around probably like 8, 9. Yeah, you'll be hearing madness. Like literally, you'll be hearing madness outside. You'll be hearing loads of different things. So from the playful stuff of fireworks, everyone just moving crazy. Like you got just everyone just doing firework wars.
And it's so mad because that was lit as well.
Yeah,
you know?
no, it was
I love
fun
running
still.
away from a firework. I don't know why, bro. I swear to God, I don't know why.
I didn't enjoy running from it. I enjoyed shooting the firework, bro.
I like both though. This is the thing. I like every man just
adrenaline junkie.
Yeah, just you get me. I loved it, bro. Because you knew nothing was really gonna happen.
Yeah,
but what else? What else then?
But yeah, now from that age, obviously, that was the fun stuff. You know, like just seeing people. But it's mad because it was fun, but it was dangerous. But it's like you just dabbled with danger. But from 8 years old, 9, going up, seeing certain things. From that age, I was hearing things. You're hearing gunshots left, right, and centre. You're hearing mad stuff going on. Yeah, you're hearing proper things from that age, and then you're growing up, and then you're seeing now, obviously, people that are involved in certain things. But now we're starting to look like a affiliation kind of thing because everybody is cool with each other. Do you get me? Like you look up to those that are older and whatnot.
100%.
You know, like me looking up to my older brother, him looking up to the older, his older cousin, my older cousin, and then she looking up to whoever she's looking up to. Do you get me? It was the kind of thing where, and I said she, because it was a she. I would say there was loads of things that we were exposed to from a young age that we didn't even know that it was, you get me, not normal, but at the same time, it seems normal now because everybody talks about it, everybody raps about it. You know, you hear about it all the time. But when I look at certain documentaries in America, I'm like, oh damn, this is like the ends. Do you get me? Like this is real life stuff that go on, and it stems from deep, severe poverty, like 100. Because growing up and seeing that pattern of seeing certain things, it just made me realize that, you know what, like we're actually a tight knit community that everyone just trying to make it out.
Bro, the thing is, 99% of the stuff you're going to talk about, I'm going to relate to and I'm going to know. Because that's 100. How I grew up too. I grew up knowing everyone in the next block and everyone in the houses down there and everyone in the houses across the road. Obviously not everyone, but I knew basically everyone in about a 5-minute radius of me, bro. I knew everyone. Everyone would knock for man. You know, remember you getting knocked for and you see 10 man outside the door and then you got to negotiate and then your mum sees the 10 people and go on then. Kind of vibe. Yeah, obviously, as I said, everyone grew up different. Some people was just outside, didn't have to ask them that, but my mum actually cared and she was like, where you going? And then she'd be the mum, I was about to say yardie, but she'd be the one shouting over the balcony saying, get your ass upstairs. And So I relate to it fully,
it's
bro.
mad, that family dynamics where like you get two different types of family. Those with the mums that, you get me, that are on point because they don't want their kids to go left, right and centre. And you got others that are even too busy to even be able to even focus and concentrate on that because they're trying to make it happen for their kids and for themselves, you get me? So, or
they have unfortunately fallen to substance abuse and other things.
Yeah, that.
Do you get what I'm saying?
100. That's the. You get me? That's the dark side.
That's why I said it a specific way.
Yeah, 100%, because that happens. You get me? Like that's real skin. Depending on obviously your family dynamics as well and things that they've been exposed to, I would say. But yeah, that side there, obviously, God forbid that happens to anybody. But that side there is a real life thing. 100%.
It happens, bro.
100%.
So. You said about 8, you noticed that obviously the ends ain't really normal like that. So you don't have to obviously talk up the things too much. But just for the people that didn't grow up in the ends like ours, did you get involved or did you feel like you needed to get involved in any works? And by works, I mean any badness. And
I didn't feel like I needed to. You know when you're literally, like, when you think about it, there's always, like, hierarchies and that, and that.
That's what I was actually going to touch on.
Do you get me?
Still.
So, like, seeing now my brother's involved, my brother's friends involved, cousins involved, I'm seeing so many different people that I'm around. And I just I just had one job. That's how I saw life. I saw it as I had one job. I had to be the one to make it as the footballer and get everybody out. they're already doing all the hard. They've done the hard work. Do you
I'm
get
so
me?
glad that you specifically said it that way as well.
Yeah, 100%, man.
Because you're talking about, as you said, it's your passion. But now, early doors, you realise, yo, this might be my ticket. And not just my ticket. This
Everyone's
might be
ticket.
the man them's ticket.
I put a lot of pressure on my shoulders still. I feel like from a young age, I told my mum this not too long ago. I said from a young age, I put a lot of pressure on my shoulders to kind of get everybody out, for us to be the one to make it, for me to be the one to make it, to kind of help us all, because we were all kind of going through that stage of poverty. It was poverty. I always say in the black community, if you can't do what you want to do, if you're not free to do what you want to do, you're in poverty, because you don't have the freedom to do whatever you want to do. Financial freedom is the freedom that we all long for, yearn for. You get me? So literally,
the reason why, you see, this is why, as I said, more to the end, MTTE podcast. This is why I really wanted to have these conversations, because the things that we're talking about, as you said, initially you think, but my brother was like that too. He thought you were supposed to bust a man and blah, blah. But no, you shouldn't have them pressures as a young youth. All you should be focused on is just kicking ball, mastering your craft, and molding yourself as a human. But as you said, you've already assumed responsibility to do a lot more than really is even possible.
I didn't even like them coming to watch my games. Like, I didn't get support because I didn't like the pressure in case I played dead. You get me? I didn't like that pressure because I felt like I need to always be on point. So if they're not around, and because it's like I'm the golden ticket. If I play bad, they'll be disappointed. I'm more doing pure assumptions from a young age, and I realized
too much.
The books that I've been reading of recent and whatnot. I was reading a book recently called the Four. What was it called again? It was how is this slipping my head? I've always got it ready.
Even if you don't know it, don't worry, I'll clip it in.
Nah, I've always got it ready on point though. That's the problem. But anyway, one of the points were don't make assumptions. Because we start to just make believe, and we start to just overthink, and then we try to think for people.
That's one of my biggest downfalls. And
making assumptions is a dangerous thing. I always used to assume that you should know something, or they should know something, because they know you, they should know something. But
impossible.
That's you get me. That's a form of non-communication, because you're trying to do telepathy, but you're supposed to actually use your words. Verbal communication. That's what
you're not lying, bro. Because these are, as you said, that. These are things that I used to assume about my mum or my dad or my brothers. I used to think, like, how come you lot don't know that as you said, I want to do X, Y, Z, or 100%. You ain't supported me in doing X, Y, Z, but they don't know.
Yeah, no, they don't.
But they know me. Yeah, but that doesn't, they don't know the inner you. They know the outer you, that they know, like I said this before, as I said, sorry guys, but a lot of things, they always come full circle because it's the conversation we're having, Your mum knows a different version to you than your brothers, definitely. If you had a partner, your ex, or whatever, or your niece. All of these people know different versions of you. True. A lot of these people, and you know what I'm saying when I say this, they don't know the life that you lived before you become humble with gratitude, and you understand yourself, and you can think consciously about decisions that you're making and that. A lot of people didn't know you before them times. So for us to assume that they did, and why haven't they acted upon, bro? They don't know. They don't. And even they're going through their own shit, bro.
That's the thing as well. We expect people to care so much about how we feel, but we don't even care to even see how they feel. It's very true still. And then they're going through something that we expect them to take on extra load. And you get me? That's why it's so important that we have to all understand and know each other, ourselves.
First.
Like, you have to, because that's number one. I always say that's the key, to get to know yourself. You get to know God. You get to know life. You get to know everything.
Imagine a world or a country or a place or ENDZ or whatever, where everyone, let's say year 7, everyone goes, right, it's year 7 now. I'm deciding that I'm just going to focus on bettering myself. I'm not going to assume responsibility for my whole ENDZ and my whole family. Just focus on yourself. If everyone does that individually, then hopefully when we come together, we should have a bunch of people that have all focused on themselves. Hopefully.
Definitely.
In an ideal world.
No, that is the aim, the vision would have been, literally.
So with that being said then, was there a day that you had that epiphany, that you said, you know what, I can actually see what's going on and I don't want to be a part of this shit, blood?
To be honest,
You didn't have to be, but
I feel like
or was it just like a gradual?
if I'm being honest, this anyway, it's my truth, innit?
Yeah, bro.
I loved the ends, innit? Because it's who I am, innit? It's literally growing up there. Like I love being able to say, yeah, no, I'm from Brixton, because in the mind of people, they'll associate it with the old Brixton, or they might associate it with the new Brixton, and either one I'm happy with, because at the end of the day, I am here standing today as a living testimony of, you get me? Like I was able to see things. Life has been life, and I'm here today. Do you get me? So I'm grateful for who it's made me become. I would say if I grew up anywhere else that wasn't similar, that was not similar to the culture in like our community, because I always say we were like an organized community. Like I would say like how people
repeat
were.
what you just said, because I know the thing already, but repeat what you said.
I would say it was an organized community, 100%. Do you get me? Like people like to associate, because obviously, now there's obviously other terminologies how they used to, like people used to kind of brand coming from Myatt and stuff like that. But I believe that it was an organised community because of the love and the unity that was there with all the different generations. So like with my generation, with my bedrooms, like we kicked ball. A few of the lads were involved in a few things, so they were still my bedrooms. But we still had love for each other. Do you get me? And then the other generation was my brother's age group and whatnot, and the love that they had for each other was real. Do you get me? And then the old generation, like the older ones, like my older cousin and their friends and whatnot, and a few other main names and whatnot, they from my opinion, that they looked like they were tight knit. Do you get me? So it was a thing where it seemed like it was very organized, but it was a community, because everybody there wasn't a form of disrespect, unless it was like, you know, like the older ones probably talk to the younger ones a bit, because of they probably seen that the younger ones are getting excited a little bit, and that was the only kind of, do you get me? But that's normal, innit?
Would you know about being in year 6, year 5 with Spider-Man candy sticks, and one of the older lot goes, "Hey Cam, what you doing? What's that? You smoking?" And I'm like, "No, it's just candy sticks from the shop." But he cared at that, when I was at that age, to be like, don't be involved in no stupidness like that. Of
course.
Them ages there.
They're on you because they know exactly that if you're involved in certain things from a young age, you know, they wouldn't want you to turn out a certain way. So
come on, man.
Do you get me? They were, although from the outside it looks like all this gang violence, all these things going on. Yeah, and one could say from a standing from the outside could say, oh, why are they doing this, or they shouldn't be doing this, or look, now they got them 32 years for doing this and doing. The thing is though, no one's mad to go and just do something like that. Like just there's a form of programming, and obviously in the programming I'm talking about now, how they think, innit? And obviously that comes through conversations they hold, and that comes through the people that they're around, and that comes from what they see as well. It's all part of it.
Perceived support that they have.
You get me? So at the same time, they might be riding out for their bedrooms. You see how it sounds? How we can say it differently and it sounds good? They're riding out for their bedroom. Do you get me? Like it sounds pattern. But now when you obviously ride out for your bedroom, and then now you actually get man down, then you're getting what, 32, whatever, and then now it looks like you're a mad guy and nobody wants to talk to you. I've been conversations. I have conversations for like 2 hours with my bedrooms that are in jail that are doing life.
Tell the people, bro. This is the shit that I want people to hear. Yeah, tell the people, bro.
Yeah, and obviously it's real skeng because it's mad. You know, like obviously having a conversation with them and seeing how they see life and how they see things. It just sounded like they were just having fun as kids. Bro. And that's how it was, innit? Because we didn't, a lot of the time when things would happen and whatnot with my bedrooms or with our friends or whatnot, that's when we kind of think, oh, why did they do this? Why? Oh my God, this person's in jail because of this. And it sounds wicked because they actually got somebody down at the same time, excuse me.
But you ask that person, you ask that you now, and as you said, again, it's gonna keep happening while we're talking, because I know someone specifically who I even want to have a chat with him. Hopefully I can get that recorded or whatever, but same thing. Yeah. I think I know that you didn't even do it. These are basically just lives lost to the system, and now looking back they would say to themselves, do you know what? I just didn't see that far ahead, bro. I was
Yeah.
just having fun for the Friday night.
That's
bro.
all it was. You know what I
Thursday
mean? Like
night.
you meet up with your bedrooms. Obviously, there's a couple you don't like, but that's normal. Like people don't get on with people because everybody's just different. Sometimes you might not get on with someone just because they're from a different postcode from you, and you have been programmed to not like that postcode.
Repeat
like
that again, please, my brother.
You've been programmed to not like that postcode, and it's not even a thing where it's like, oh, what are we, robots that people are telling us what to do? No, like it's just institutionalized, isn't it? Like it's ingrained. It's systematic oppression. Like this is something that's happened to us through generations, through being. I always say like from. Obviously, I don't like to go back historic and that talking about slavery and stuff like that because I don't want it to sound. I don't want it to sound so cliche, but it's a real life thing. Do you get me? Like people, that there is systematic oppression. Like people are, we are kind of controlled in ways where sometimes we can't even see what's around us, but we just see what's in front of us. Like we don't have the vision to see left and see right. We just keep going straight, and sometimes going straight can, it might seem like it's the way to go because that's all you know, but you have to sometimes. I feel like it takes people to kind of stop you to say, all right, cool, stop, have it, to slow down, look left, look right.
You see what you just said, slow down. That's what I was gonna say. Or you have to sit your ass down to
100.
slow down.
No, definitely.
To be removed from an
environment. So that's what a lot of people. So that's what Joe does for some people. It sits them down, it slows them down, and it makes them wanna.
All they do,
come out and do
they're
something
forced
differently.
to go. Raw. Why am I here though?
100.
Like
self-reflection is the most important thing in this lifetime.
How did I
One
get
of the most
here?
important things.
It is though. It is self-reflection, but obviously I'm saying this, and I always use disclaimers because people see little clips and stuff, and they go, "Oh yeah, but you become." No, just listen. What I'm saying is, myself, Jazzie has paused for a minute and said, "Rah, yeah, but what do I want to do? Who am I? How did I get here? Why was Brixton stigmatized in these things? Do you get it? Because for my perception, obviously I went from Bricky, but I was like 10, 15 minutes away, bro.
Woolly Road?
Nah, Wandsworth Road.
Wandsworth Road.
Gotta be specific still.
One Road.
Yeah, I ain't gotta say all the things. I ain't gotta say all the things in it. If you know with it. But man wasn't far off. But fortunately for me, it's funny how life works out because our ends were actually cool. And have always been cool from my perspective anyway. It might be changed by the time someone else sees this and all of these things, but
they weren't cool with certain man though.
Yeah, but this is what I was gonna say. That's why I had to. You have to do the disclaimers because from my perspective,
of course,
do you get it?
That's the difference, and that's what it's about. It's about your perspective. How you see things, and that's the thing that I was born into living in Myattfield. So I grew up with this perspective of seeing life in a certain way. Like I just was happened to have been born there. Do you get me? Like, and some people happen to have been like they were born in Chelsea or born in Cambridge or born in Peckham. They're born in Luton, and they're probably even born in let's say now somewhere like where's that place where it's nice, like it's West London. You see now they have problems around there, but there's some nice places in West London that I've obviously met some people around there and they don't go through certain things. Do you get me? Because that area is so. It's so different. Like it's like
it's just not like that.
Yeah, I feel like it depends on also. I swear to you, it also even depends on the architectural plans
don't get me started
of housing. Do you get me? Like
don't get me started.
Some houses are enclosed and whatnot, and then you're just in a community with just everyone that's just from the mud, just bare mud.
But I done told man. I said, "Raw." Certain man don't even deep that man them's blocks are looking like prisons.
Nah,
and I'm not saying that to shit on the blocks because as you said, man grew up in the blocks, so I can talk about the blocks because I grew up there. But aesthetically, that's how it looked. However, at times for us, it was good because I know that block over there, and during a certain time period, we're all blessed. As I said, times change, issues get had, and it changes, innit? Yeah. But anyway, I don't even get too deep in certain things.
No, it's real skeng.
You get me? Question I wanted to ask you. I don't know how you want them to be addressed. It could be Locks and Boost. It could be
Carl and Terrell.
But I could cut either or. Don't worry about that. It's up to you. I prefer Locks and Boost because I feel like that's more the legendary titles. But I do know.
Can't forget about Mad Mics.
But this is not for me to say. It's not for me to say. It's for you to.
No, I'm playing
Mics.
I'm playing.
Nah, do you get it? But
yeah, that was a trio.
What was it like seeing
And
those
a few other
three
man, to be fair.
transition off the road?
I think the transition off the road is important because then you can name other names, you know, like Sykes, Troops, like a lot of our good friends from old school too. Like so many good guys. The difference was the transition in it, in terms of how they, like Mike's, my oldest brother, Locks, you know, my cousin and Terrell, their best friend, our good friend, how they were able to transition. And it was Mike's and Locks first, and a couple other brothers as well, you know, and they tried to and a couple other brothers tried to transition with them because they were all best friends. They were so close. It's just that some people's lives just didn't align with others, and you know, like some people have different demons that they're battling with, innit? That they're fighting with. So it is what it was. So you know, when Carl and Mike's when they transitioned, it was quite big. And then when Terrell Boost, when he transitioned as well, that was very important as well. And I feel like that was pivotal because obviously with that transition, you know, that change it stemmed from, you know, my mum being a pastor and whatnot, and just trying her best.
Shout out to your mum, Z.
100, man.
I just need to make that. 100. I would say it again.
I would say a mother's prayers are no joke thing.
Brother.
Do you get me? But her
Pals is different, bro.
100. So 100%. Her trying her best and whatnot. She was just praying for her son before she knew it. She was able to kind of help support, you know, external family members and friends and whatnot, and try to help them to reform. And it's mad because I was having a conversation with a guy on the phone, like some interview kind of thing, but I call it conversation. But yeah, because the way that he saw things and how I saw things were two different perspectives in terms of how you nurture young people. Do you get me? Like how you support them, support their mental health, you know, and obviously seeing how my mum done it. She had good conversations with them, you know, like she prayed for them, you know, she's putting out good words into the atmosphere. Do you get me? Like she's saying all these things when she's praying. People don't understand the power of prayer. You're doing words of affirmation. You're doing all those different things, and you're speaking it into the atmosphere. Then you're helping to change someone's life because your positive energy is just going out there. Do you get me?
Would I be right in saying that your mum was probably? I'm sure that your people had other people around them showing them love, but your mum was one of the people that. She saw through whatever everyone else saw. Yeah. She still saw, no, these are kids. Young youths.
Because she saw her son. She saw her son in all the man them. That's all it was. And if she didn't stop this, the cycle's gonna carry on as well. Youngest children are eventually gonna get involved in these things. Literally. So she saw the cycle, and she tried her best to really intercede, is what I'll call it, for her son. And then the man started getting involved to the point where she started to intercede for all of them, you know, and she really had these good conversations with them to try help them to change their mind. And it's mad because you can't change anybody's mind, but what I mean by that is trying to help them see better choices. Do you get me? And this is the point where I'm talking about. I had a conversation with this guy, but he wasn't understanding where I was coming from when I was talking about you can't force anybody to change. They can only want to change. Do you get me? Like you if you're a mentor, you can't force anybody to do anything that they don't want to do.
Lead the horse.
You get me?
Can't make it drink.
You can't make it drink still, so you can only do what you can do. Try pave a way. Try and help them to see. Try and remove all the rubbish in front of their eyes so that they could just see and walk. Do you get me? Like, and for that was what my mum was able to do. She helped them to see the A or B, and then there's also C. Do you get me? Like, there's just there were different options that they can choose from, and she was able to kind of pattern that in a way where they were kind of able to reform and change themselves as people, and that's the key as well. Change themselves as people. No one can force you.
You see what we said? As I said, things go full circle.
100.
Imagine a world where people change themselves and not. I'm not gonna try and change you. You're not gonna try and change me.
100.
I'll focus on myself. You focus on yourself, and then we'll link up.
If that was happening in this world would be a flipping peaceful world, because you then you don't blame anybody else. Do you get me? And then you start to see the kind of mad things that you're doing.
You assume responsibility,
and then you start to be like, right, is this what this is doing to other people's lives? Like, for example, I'm taking it way different because my mind just goes far. I'm talking about government. Like, I'm talking about people that make these laws, make these infrastructures. You know, to making life harder for people. Like, if they were, do you get me? If they were to actually take a step out and say, do you know what, this is affecting people in this way. The thing is that a lot of people, what we do as human beings, like, especially when we're, because we all have narcissistic tendencies. Like, we all have narcissistic tendencies. That's the one. Did I say that right?
Egotistical.
I would say narcissistic, because that's when the world revolves around yourself, innit? Like, that's, so when it's like that, you just care about you, yours, and that's it. So you'll do certain things that you do not care what it does to other people.
As long as me and the man,
as long as I eat, as long as we eat, I'm good. Do you get me? Like, if it's whatever, if they're oppressing anybody, like, if you're, you get me, when you're going to do certain things, for example, now, if you even take it back hypothetically, like to being on the road, like, people go and put pressure on people, and that is gonna eventually hurt somebody. However, you do not care, because you have your mindset made up as to why I'm doing this. So when you can make that logical reason and say, I am doing this because of this, like, when you have a why,
I've justified it. It's done now.
You are unstoppable.
Yeah, 100%.
You're unstoppable.
Now, do you know what? Yeah, look, it's mad because I knew that this conversation was going to be like this, and I wish we had more time. But we've still got a solid 10 to go, and if anything happens, we'll pattern it or whatever, yeah.
Honored.
But with what you're saying, yeah, it's deeper, bruv. Because this is why, as I said, the thing is called more to the ends. Because a lot of decisions that I realised that other man them made was because man only saw the ends. Man didn't realise, like, yeah, but like eventually I want to go on holiday to a different country and that, and if I do certain things I'll get a conviction, so I won't be able to go to certain countries. And that. Man never thought that far ahead. Man's not even thinking man can get on a plane, bro.
We didn't.
Do you get what I'm saying though?
We didn't see life past the life that we were living in that moment.
Pass down the road, blood.
Other than like maybe the future, like we would say by 25,
yeah,
I want to be married, be this or this, brother, or this or that.
But you see,
we didn't really.
You see what
really
you said there, yeah? That's a deeper thing, because I was talking to someone at work, yeah, and I said to them, right, the thing is, where I grew up, a lot of us never really planned to do much past 25.
That's true, you know.
Am I chatting shit or no?
No, you're not.
Like, a lot of man didn't really.
I didn't really think past 25.
I didn't really think past 25. So now man's approaching 30. Man's all thinking about 40 and 45 and that.
And it's mad because when you're in secondary school, you think about 25. When you start to get to college, and then now if you're going to get a bit older, if you didn't go uni or you're working, you don't even remember that you was thinking about 25 sometimes. It's like life just starts moving.
Bruv.
And you don't even put any cap on anything. You just start moving. Now you're just trying to just eat.
Bruv.
You're just trying to get out of the gutter. Like, you're just trying to do your thing. And it's so mad because a lot of people don't understand the struggle of a man. Like, but you have to hold it down.
Pause that right there. I feel like this is a conversation that will get continued into much more depth. 100. And I know you'll probably come back. Other men will come back, and et cetera, yeah. But
100.
there's just a few things before we wrap up that I wanted to touch on. So obviously, I've been working or whatever, seen you on socials and stuff, and previously I'd seen that you was working as a teacher in a school. Now, obviously, because of time, you don't have to go into the super duper details of stuff. But what I wanted to focus on anyway was, how is it working as a teacher? And did you work in Stockwell as well?
Yeah, I worked in Stockwell for a few months, and I've done my teacher's training. Mm-hmm. One of my placements in Stockwell as well. Mm-hmm. Then I went to Chestnut Grove. Then I became a teacher.
So how was that? And what even motivated you to even do that?
What, teaching?
Yeah.
Well, I just said, mate, man didn't make it as a footballer, so next best thing that would look good to me is teaching.
And I respect that highly, because a lot of men don't realise these things, that because you didn't make it in something doesn't mean that that's the end of you, bro. You can bestow your knowledge onto other
definitely.
people.
And it's a secure job. Do you get me? Like, it was a thing where it just made sense. And the only reason why as well, because it was PE that I was doing in it. So with the PE thing, it's just like football. It's basically football and other sports, and I'm alright at every sport. So for me, it made sense to be able to teach sports back to kids. You know, like
Probably didn't feel like work.
Nah, that's what I'm saying. It didn't. I felt like a kid most of the time when I was doing stuff, because it was a lot of banter. Like, I miss being in the school that I was at, Harris Tottenham. That school was. It was like being in the end still. When I went there and I saw the year 11 youths look at me like I was an op, and I was like, rah. This place is like bricky. Like, I was like, this place.
You need people like me, so you can look at him and say, him. He's the bad guy.
It's so dumb. So when I went there, I was just like, rah, like these youths moved in a certain way, like their attitude, and that was the thing. Like, was the attitude. It was the being closed sort of thing, and that for me was a bit strange, because I go to other schools and they open up, or they'll be cool.
With that being said, yeah, bruv. You see, me personally, I'm a deep thinker, and I know you're a deep thinker too. I observe a lot of stuff, and even me, I've had my own experience working in my old primary school. Now, I did that because I think I did social care in college. And
by the way, you need to get Wagwan to sponsor you.
Brother, you think I don't want them to sponsor me? I done told them sponsor me, man. They know Wagwan already.
Very good drink, this one.
Come on, you see, I just slipped that in there, bro. Just quickly still. But yeah, no, yeah, bruv. One thing I wanted to ask was, when you became a teacher, did you gain a new appreciation for those teachers that had any impact on you personally?
I think I appreciated teachers when I was doing my teacher training, because I saw how excited they were to see me, that I'm still out here trying to be positive. You get me? Knowing that a couple men from my year got lifed off, knowing that a few people are out here doing whatever they're doing, and obviously them being out of radar, out of touch with a lot of people, and then me coming back to try and better myself and say I want to be a teacher like them. I saw how happy they were to have me back. Do you get me? And then I realised that, you know, they really did actually care before. Do you get me? So big up to a few teachers from Stockholm Park High School, 100%.
Bruv, do you know, I remember Miss Brown, yeah? She goes to me.
Science teacher.
Yeah, short science teacher. I love Miss Brown.
She embraced me when I came back, to be fair. She was so happy to see me. 100%.
Bruv, I remember specifically this specific thing that she said. She goes, I don't want you lot to end up like them youths that's outside smoking in a grey tracksuit. That's specifically what she said.
In a grey tracksuit.
Bruv, I'm not going to make up the colour of the tracksuit.
That's so funny.
She said, I don't want you lot to end up like the youths outside just smoking and in a grey tracksuit. And I thought, at the time, I was just thinking, bruv, what's that about, bro?
Them grey tracksuits, they were the boot cut.
They were dusty, cuz. Yeah, mad. But obviously, as you get older, you understand what she meant by that. She just meant she didn't want you to become a waste of space.
No, most
she wanted you to
definitely.
become something. And as you said, she embraced you because she realised, like, you're still free.
Yeah.
You still have your freedom and you're out trying to do something positive. So
most definitely.
That's a good thing to hear, man.
No, sure.
One thing I wanted to touch on before we finish up is your niece kicks ball.
Yeah.
And you help train her, and obviously I know your family helps as well, but I see from my perspective that you're super duper hands-on. You ain't playing no games. You're like, I'm gonna be there to help you on this journey.
Yeah, no, definitely.
What's that like?
It's nice, man. Her playing for Arsenal, she just got signed.
Say that again? Sorry, I didn't hear that.
Unfortunately, I'm joking. She plays for Arsenal.
Come on.
And I'm happy with that one, to be fair, because she will play for Man United ladies in the future.
Come on.
But I'm happy with that right now, because her obviously being so young and getting involved in, you know, professional training, understanding that there's levels to it, seeing where she could potentially go, because she's a visionary herself. Me and her have conversations where she just loves to have a conversation with me and just dream, literally. Yeah. And that's why I love kids, because they're just so pure. Do you know, they're dreamers.
They're not tainted by the stupidness. Like, if you got
an idea, go ask the kid and ask them, and especially a logical one. I would say, ask a young 11-year-old girl, because like that's my niece. Do you get me? Because you can, like, they can they've got their own mind already. You know, they say girls are advanced, and especially now her being in an environment where she hasn't got any there isn't much limitations. She didn't grow up like us. Do you get me? So she's free to express, free to think, free to do what she wants. She's chilling on her phone with her AirPods like she's a big woman. And and she's doing her thing. My mum, her grandma would be like speaking to her or something, and she's on her phone. My mum recently today, she was like, when she's on her phone and got her headphones in, tell her to come off because she does that to me. I was like, bro, what, she acts like a big girl to you, man.
Wait,
that shocks me still.
Second of
funny,
all,
man.
Second of all, I have to piggyback off what you're saying because my nephew Aiden, he's 11, and he recently, I have to big him up because he recently is on Netflix doing a voiceover for a character.
That's lit still.
I say that because I've said it before. He's 16, bro. I chat to him, man's telling me, so what you need to do on YouTube, you need to get the algorithms because if you don't have certain stuff, bro, he's putting me on.
He knows his stuff.
And the fact that he's, as I said, achieved the Netflix thing,
of course, so it
makes me go, bro, I don't have no excuses.
Yeah, 100%.
He's done it.
He's confident. He knows.
He's done it. He's not even in secondary school yet, brother. And he's done it.
That's pattern.
So
how old is he?
He's 11, bro.
Wow.
He's 11, bro. And anyway, I can't even talk too much. But yeah, cut long story short, he's done the Netflix thing. He's moving and shaking. Him and your niece, those two types of children are the children of the next generation that personally inspire me, and I think you would agree.
100%.
Because
she's gonna be different. I know it.
Come on, man.
100%.
Come on. No, you can keep going, bro. If it cuts, it cuts. She's gonna, Do you know what I mean?
She's gonna be different still. I can see how she moves, how she talks, how she thinks. Do you get me? Like she's a visionary already. Even if football didn't even go in that direction, she's gonna be so many different other things because she's got the support system she has, and the way that I can see already how she attracts so much attention in terms of her personality. Like people want to be around the kids. Kids love her.
100%.
She's one of the biggest role models in my church. Like tell Soraya to go handle the kids. All the kids, they look at her like she's Jesus.
What you know about Aiden? That's his name, my nephew. Yeah. What you know about Aiden having a group called the Three Musketeers and that? And if you want to join the Musketeers and that, you have to go for a certain process and that. You can't just join his group and that. Not a gang, a group, because he's on certain things. If you want to walk with him, you can walk with him. But you got to be of a certain stature.
100%.
Do you get it? So as I said, these kids and that, and one thing I want to specify and keep before we continue and before we end is when you talk about the support system, I think if anything, while we had people like your mum, my mum, my bigger brother, and even your brothers and stuff like that, or uncles and certain people that was definitely there for us to do certain things and that, I think it's different, especially when the ages are closer. I don't know if that makes sense.
Yeah.
But when the ages are just a bit, like for example, my little brother who's 17 and I'm only 10 years older than him, but he can kind of just reason with me differently.
Yeah, no, that's definitely a big thing. It's a real thing, 100%.
Do you know what I mean?
100%. With my niece is the same. I'm the youngest one. She sees the dynamic. Because she's so smart, she's able to see that. I'm the youngest one. Do you get me?
You get it.
So I get it. So, and the thing is that I have conversations with her.
Yeah.
So she can get it.
Yeah.
You know? So I make her understand that it's all right to do certain things or be a certain way.
Yeah.
However, you just need to word it differently and be different. Do you get me? So,
yeah. Man, look, I'm going to wrap up before this thing cuts off. I think really and truly we got about 3 minutes, but last time, imagine man's doing a whole pod, the thing just cut off and
that's mad.
It's life, but that's why I've been just...
Got to force this conversation again.
Do you get... Bruv, it will happen. It will happen. And as you can see, people, 2 black youths from different ends coming together, having a positive, constructive conversation as men about past and present and the future and the next generation. And that's, with More to the Ends podcast, that's what man wants to push. So, Jazzie, Josh,
my brother,
I just want to big yourself up.
Love having man.
Even coming today.
No, I appreciate you having man.
And just like that, as I said, there's always more to the ends, bro.
No, 100, bro.
Come on, man.
Let's go, man.
Boom.